Hello folks, I'm Mitch Lamore. I'm the kettle corn master welder. Been building kettle corns for myself and other companies for, 5 years now. I've been in bicycle frames for even longer. Almost 35 years. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about NSF certification. It's an issue to come up with me. Mostly it's an irritant point to me because I'm more of a liberty-minded person. I believe people should be free to build what they want, when they want it, without having some government agency tell me I can't. Now, that has its good points and its bad points. I want to express to you the difference in the bad points. With our machines, the way I think, and even with my bicycles, I'm constantly thinking about how I can improve my product. I don't like just standing still, building something and say, okay, that's good enough. There's every single product in the world has improvements that can be made on it. If there wasn't, we'd still be driving the Model A. Everything needs improvement. Everything should be improved. And when something's improved, or even just needs a small change, I want to be able to do it. If you're short and you want a shorter table and a shorter kettle corn, I want to be able to make it for you. If you're 6'3", 6'4", 7 foot tall, and you want a taller kettle corn machine, and you don't want to be bending over all day, and you want an inch or two or longer legs, I want to be able to make it for you. As an NSF certification, the process is they come over into my shop, they decide whether or not my shop is suitable for my products. Not only do I have to get permission from this non-governmental governing body. In other words, they're like the Fed. They pretend they're the government, but they're not. They are a private company. We have to pay them $8,000 just to come in and look at one machine. Just to say this sifting table, to get it certified. That's just per machine. We have, what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 products that we sell. That's $80,000 we would have to pay to this company just to fill out a little bit of paperwork. Then it's another $1,500 per year to keep us in the club. Well, the fact of the matter is, once I get that inspection on that first machine, yeah, that's probably pretty good. But what if I want to change it? They have to come in and inspect it. Another $1,500 to $8,000 fee is charged to me to make a small little improvement. Maybe there's a locking mechanism I want to change. Or maybe I decide to make it just an inch bigger or an inch taller. All that I have to have permission from this NSF governing body. It's just another way that a middleman steps in and takes money from small manufacturers. Now, a big manufacturer, a company that's only geared towards profit, actually likes that. They like the bureaucracy. Why? Because they spend the money and make maybe 200 or 300 or 400 of their machines that they haven't changed in years. They haven't made very few, if any, improvements. They've paid the fee, so they would lobby to legal agencies, or I should say legislative bodies, to make it a law that somebody like myself would have to be certified. Not to make the product better. It does not increase the quality. Some of you have seen kettle corn manufacturers that use regular steel that's powder coated. Well, despite what they tell you, powder coating does wear off. Rust gets underneath the paint, and it'll eventually look terrible and rusty and old. And the metal is made out of steel, which costs less than aluminum and much less than stainless steel. So it gives them an excuse to make an inferior product that costs them less. But if I want to make the same thing, it's going to cost me more, because I have to pay these fees. Just a quick story. I had a friend of mine that we wanted to make those concrete highway barriers you see on the highway. Now, if you're a concrete guy, anybody can make those. You just got some concrete, you got a form, you could put some rebar in there, and you have a concrete barrier that you could sell to the government for $1,500 to $2,000. You could probably make 10 or 15 or 20 or 100 of those a day, make some pretty good money. Well, this concrete friend of mine decided he wanted to do that. So as he started looking into it, he found that the leading concrete company that makes those products, those highway barriers, lobbied the legislatures so that they could make a standard. Well, the long story short, this company was making millions and millions of dollars in government contract, and they didn't want any competition. They didn't want somebody to come in and sell it for less. So they spent a few $100,000, hired some lobbyists, and got the Congress, or at least the legislator in their state, in this particular state in Washington, to make a law saying you could not make concrete barriers for the state, or any concrete barriers, unless you paid the certification fee that costs $250,000 to make a concrete barrier. It's not that difficult. But for a small concrete guy who's probably making $50,000 to $75,000 a year and supporting his 4 kids, trying to put him through college, $250,000 is enough to keep him from becoming competition with this bigger company. So he decided not to do it, and he got into septic tanks. Well, anyway, so it's a long story, or a short story here, just to kind of give you an idea. I don't want that to happen with my kettle corn machines or anything I make. Also, I just don't want the government in my shop telling me whether my shop is okay for them or not. I know my shop is good at work. I've built Coast Guard ships, I've built yachts, I've built $35 million yachts, you know, $5,000 to $10,000 Coast Guard ships. I've seen their shops. Mine's better. It's cleaner, it's more organized, and my equipment is better. But since I'm not willing to pay the $8,000 for a company to come in and tell me how to run my business, or get permission from them when I want to make your machine a little bit more customized, shorter, taller, wider, wider, we don't do NSF. And as far as I'm concerned, I'll never be a completely NSF certified shop. I suppose someday, you know, the fascism in this country might get to the point where they force me to do it to make a living. Hopefully that day won't ever come. But anyway, the bowls are NSF certified. The bowl that we have, where the food is touching the bowl, is NS certified. It's no different than the non-certified bowl. It's exactly the same bowl. No difference. The only difference is a little, 3 little letters show up on the bowl. It says NSF. It costs us more money for that bowl, but there are some states like California that are insisting that machines become NSF certified. Obviously, the NSF certification company, which is a private company, lobbied California to make that the case, so that nobody could get a product unless it came from the permission of that corporation that makes tens of millions of dollars, taking away money from companies like me, one-man shows. Now eventually, one-man shows like me may disappear, but it'll be because of big corporations that lobby the legislators to do just that. Keep their competition away. Not make it better, but keep it away, and not allow me to provide a product the way I'd like to provide it for you. So, sorry, that's my little rant. Hope I didn't sound too much like Alex Jones or any of those guys, but anyway, it's just a little irritating to see the freedoms of people like me, and you wonder why everything's going to China and being made there, because they make it almost impossible for anybody larger than a one-man show to make a living. Makes it real difficult. Anyway, thanks for listening to my rant. Have fun popping and making stuff. Making some money for your family.